Hey, this is Matt. Once again, we're about to another video, and this is a paid request for you. Thank you so much for that. For those interested, requests in any type of videos, random thoughts, streams, commentaries, video game playthrough for an hour, a full playthrough, tier list ranking, movie review, re-review, random stream, random thoughts, whatever the case may be. PayPal is the best way to do it. Do have a Cash App as well. Links are down below in the info box, and I will get to it as soon as I possibly can. For those who sent them, thank you. I do appreciate it. Now, Yule was nice enough to send in a request, a paid request for me to do a commentary on Kiss of the Dragon from 2001. Kiss my ass. If you've seen the film, you know what I mean with Chetty Terrio at the end. But anyway, thank you, Yule. I appreciate it. Thank you for your patience. I hope people enjoy. Let's get into it. I have the subtitles on. I will put on my headphones from time to time. The reason I don't have them all the way from the beginning to end is because with how it is in Texas, every day is like 98 degrees. I don't mean the band. It's like my ears are sweating. Like my ears are going to run the marathon like a fat man trying to get a hot dog through a donut. So, pause the beginning. Depending on where you see this film, there may be other stuff at the beginning in terms of production companies. I'm paused at the moment where the Europa Corp is going to appear, which is Luc Besson's company. So right now, it's the stars and the night sky. So for those who are following, I'm paused there. 3, 2, 1, pressing play. And for syncing, the Europa, we have the dolphins, and something's rising up right now. It's not a dick, but it is not Thumbelina, but Tinkerbell and the Europa Corp. And it's going to fade now, and you have 20 presents, can't say it, a Europa Corp production. And I meant to say 20th Century Fox. And then association with quality growth, so there you go. But yeah, Kiss of the Dragon, I did not get to see this in theaters. I saw this on DVD, actually. Early days of DVD. Now, I remember on the commentary with these bunnies, I know this is thin, but I remember this. They said, well, it's Jet Li and Bridget Fonda, and the dead bunny is Chetty Terrio, and that's why Chetty Terrio's name is on there, because he dies and he bleeds to death at the end. Although I don't know what the fourth bunny represents. Maybe the kid? Maybe that's what it is. It's the daughter and Bridget Fonda on one side. The dead bunny's Chetty Terrio, and then the other kind of on top of him is Jet Li. Maybe that's what it's meant to represent. I know that's thin, but I remember hearing that in a commentary. Oh, that's kind of interesting to look at. I'm sure. But of course, we're going to have Jet Li coming up here. If you're listening to this as just an audio, the plot of the film is Jet Li is a cop from overseas. He's gone to Paris to work with French cops because there's a mob boss there and something to do with drug smuggling. He's supposed to deal with these French cops. Chetty Terrio finds out too late that they are dirty cops. The mob boss gets stabbed by this one hooker. Jet Li is framed for the crime. Because the cops kill the mob boss and the hooker. The only witness he has is this other hooker, played by Bridget Fonda. She has a daughter. And Jet Li has to go kick a lot of fucking ass. Corey Yune, action director, he definitely deserves major props for this film. He did a lot of wonderful work throughout the years. I think the action scenes are fantastic in this. Definitely my favorite part of it. It's my favorite Jet Li film, which I'll get through. Jet Li was a producer. I think he was story by as well. He came up with the story. It'll say story by Jet Li, I believe. Some nice French look. Yeah, there you go. Based on a story by Jet Li. And then Luc Besson and Robert Mark-Kamen. Robert Mark-Kamen, if that name sounds familiar, he wrote the early Karate Kid films. The Karate Kid trilogy. Third one sucks, but I love the first two. He also had a hand in writing Taken and the shitty sequels. The Transporter. Maybe Colombiana. If so, I can't remember. If so, Colombiana sucks. But I love the first Taken. I like the first Transporter. He might have worked on Transporter 2, which I like. And in the first two Karate Kid films, I like this one. So Robert Mark-Kamen has done some good work. And I also like Luc Besson. He produced this. He wrote the screenplay. He directed The Fifth Element, which I love The Fifth Element. Leon the Professional, good movie as well. He did the original La Femme Nikita, which is funny because Bridget Fonda was in the, I guess you'd call the American remake, Point of No Return. So I wonder if that's how Luc Besson, like, he knew about Bridget Fonda. I'm trying to think if Luc Besson worked on Point of No Return. I can't remember, because I barely remember that film. But I guess to start with, yeah, I saw this, got this on DVD because I liked Jet Li in films at that time. There was Lethal Weapon 4 and Romeo Must Die and The One. All three I liked. Now, from what I understand, when Jet Li was coming up with the story of this, he would look on his website. He had a fan website, and he would take suggestions from fans. And the fans said, we would like to see you do more realistic fighting like you did in Fist of Legend. Because in Romeo Must Die, okay, he did a lot of films in Hong Kong. He did Fist of Legend. He did the Once Upon a Time in China trilogy. He did The Bodyguard from Beijing, among other films. To get into the American market, he was the villain in Lethal Weapon 4. Which, when I first saw Lethal Weapon 4, wasn't big on, but I will say that's a film that's grown me throughout the years. Because there's been so many much worse sequels. The Lethal Weapon 4 really doesn't look that bad in comparison. It really doesn't. It's still my least favorite of the four. But you know what? Compared to other sequels, Lethal Weapon 4 is not too bad. It really isn't. And Jet Li is a good villain in that movie. Now, Joel Silver, he really was impressed by Jet Li, so he got him for Romeo Must Die with Aaliyah. And I liked that film, although a bit too much wire work. But Romeo Must Die I remember liking for what it is. After that, he did The One with Jason Statham, Delroy Lindo, where it's about this multiverse. Before all these Marvel, multiverse shit, The One did it before, where a version of Jet Li traveled from universe to universe to kill versions of himself, and each time he does, he gains their power. So you have the villain Jet Li, who could do like Matrix type shit, and then you have the good Jet Li, and it was much more CGI special effects. So apparently on the website, the fans said, we don't want you doing as much wire work like Romeo Must Die, and we don't want you doing much CGI special effects like The One. So this was kind of the compromise. And I like The One. I like Romeo Must Die. This is my favorite because I think the fight scenes are fantastic. The action scenes are wonderful. Very little CGI, other than I think when he goes down the chute, there's a little bit of CG flames for safety reasons. And then when it hits the pool, the cue ball, when he kicks the cue ball up and then he kicks it. And I think he actually kills this guy. This is the guy I think he kills with it. It's a cool scene. I like that scene. And that I don't mind. Again, if you want to use it sparingly and for an effective scene, I could deal with CG. But a lot of the fight scenes are practical, and I think some of his best ones. It's a very fast-paced movie. And, I mean, a lot of people consider Jet Li boring. I like kind of his subtle, kind of calm down vibe. Because you have Jackie Chan, who's more the fun, goofy, energetic type, and then you have the more strong, silent, deadly type, like Jet Li. There's a nice contrast between the two. And afterward with Jet Li, I mean, I don't mind Cradle to the Grave, although it's flawed. I think that was another film where he looked at who would you like as an opponent for me to fight, and they're like, hey, we want Mark Dacascos. And apparently that's how Mark Dacascos got cast in Cradle to the Grave, but the fight scene was compromised. I know Jet Li and Mark Dacascos was very sad about that, because they worked harder on the fight, and it got edited to shit. Because the director's like, I gotta go to this, and this, and this, and go back to... That's annoying. It's one of the things I don't like about... I like Cradle to the Grave, but it's flawed. But I liked it. Saw it in the theater. Wish I had seen this in the theater. But yeah, this is like the early stages of DVD. I remember this time period where there was a magazine called Total Film that I would get because they would have DVD sample DVDs. You could pop in and there'd be trailers or little short films, and there'd be trailers for like Tomb Raider and Traffic, and that was films of 2000 or 2001, so they really did DVD in the high gear. It'd been out for a few years, but it was still like a new format. So, DVD. But after that, I'm not a fan of the Forbidden Kingdom. I thought that was disappointing. I don't like the film War. I think that sucks. The last film he did was Mulan, which I thought was a terrible remake. And then the Expendables films, which I think the first one is good. The others were really disappointing. Now here's the twins, which will get a cool fight near the end of the film. One of the highlights of the film. And we have our main villain, Chetty Terrio, who's a very slimy villain. Doesn't want to know his name. Because coming up, he's like, I don't want to pronounce your name. I'll call you John. Welcome to Paris, Johnny. He's really good. He just has that great slimy dirtbag vibe to him. And the first time I saw him was in the Bad Boys 1 with Will Smith. He was the main villain in that. He did a good job in that. He was also in this Mark Dacascos film called Crying Freeman, but for some reason he was dubbed. I don't know why he was dubbed. Because you can see here, if you watch along, he does well with the voice act. Like, I can understand what he's saying. I can understand what he's dictating. I'm not confused or anything. Now, I did not know this for the longest time, but this guy here in the middle, well, okay, not there yet, but this guy who plays Mr. Big, the guy who's going to fuck the two prostitutes, well, one's Bridget Fonda and she gets sick. The guy who they're watching mainly, the guy who gets stabbed by the hooker. I'm sitting here, I'm going, why do I recognize this fucking guy? I know I recognize this guy, but where have I seen him before? I kind of want to wait till he's on screen to say it, but this guy here who's sitting down on the couch, on that red couch, and these two are going to say hi. He kisses Bridget Fonda's hand. That guy, he was in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom. This kissing the other hooker's hand. If you remember Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, if you remember the opening, after Kate Capshaw does the Anything Goes song, you have those guys fucked with Indy about the antidote. The antidote to the poison you just drank, Dr. Jones. There's a guy who gets a Tommy gun and shoots, and Indy has to use that big thing to blot the bullets or do his best. He's the guy who fires the Tommy gun. See, he was in Temple of Doom. Which I love Indiana Jones Temple of Doom. And for the longest time I didn't know that. I'm like, why does this guy look familiar? I'm like, oh, he was fucked with Dr. Jones. That's what it was. No wonder he gets stabbed. That's what he did for fucked with Dr. Jones. But anyway, it's just the actor. But for the longest time I didn't realize that. So it was doing a little bit of research for this commentary. I'm like, that was cool. That was cool to see, to find out. Say, this guy with the tie sitting down is fucked with Dr. Indiana Jones. Now, of course, the one hooker here who gets, I think she's going to go to the bathroom and puke. Because that's how she doesn't get shot. Because, yeah, this is a wig that she's wearing. That is Bridget Fonda. Bridget Fonda, I thought was okay in the film. I always thought that she's fine. There's a part of me that would prefer someone else, but she's fine. I think what it is around this time, or a little bit before this actually, there was Mira Sorvino and the Replacement Killers. And I thought Mira Sorvino did a really good job. That's a very good film, The Replacement Killers. And I like that where you see the ads is like, get the fuck out. I mean, it's a nice ads. I don't blame them. Ah, yes. But yeah, obviously it was not going to be Mira Sorvino because she just played not the same, but like I wouldn't say similar, but she was in the Replacement Killers. I kind of would have preferred if it was like a Gina Davis or a Demi Moore, like someone other actress. Like Bridget Fonda's okay. Maybe because I just didn't grow with her as much as other people did. I mean, she was in Single White Female, which I didn't see that film till years later, and I don't mind the film. She was also in a bit role in Doc Hollywood. She was in The Point of No Return, which I said was kind of like the American remake of La Femme Nikita. She was in a few stuff here and there. I think this is one of the last films she did. And what's weird is if you see pictures of Bridget. Okay, do this. Open up a Google, type in Bridget Fonda and how she looks today. You would not recognize her. And hey, I mean, we all get old. We all are different in older age. I'm just saying she looks very different. She looks a lot more older, of course. She's a lot bigger. And she's a lot bigger. I'll put it that way. And again, I would never have recognized her. But yeah. There's the hooker stabbing the guy. Some nice blood squib there. I like this idea of the acupuncture. I thought that was a really neat. Bitch stabbed me. But yeah, I always thought the idea of the acupuncture was really neat and different idea. That was very unique. I'm guessing that was Jet Li's idea in the script. Because I've never seen that really done before, the whole acupuncture stuff. And it fits with the title of the film and the ending of the film to put it in the spot you're not supposed to. Kiss of the dragon. Kiss my ass. This is where he gets framed. And the action really heats up after this. And that's the thing, kind of after this, it's pretty much full-blown, full-tail buddy. 15, 20 minutes to set up your inciting incident and go from there. And I mean, Corey Yoon definitely knows how to handle the action sequences. He's a very solid action director. I mean, I don't know why they don't just shoot Bridget Fonda, because, I mean, they already killed two people. They might as well kill Bridget Fonda as well. So I don't know why they don't just kill her. I mean, why do they care about leaving witnesses? Or not win? I mean, again, it seems like they should just kill Bridget Fonda, but, don't think about it too much. I mean, they already killed two people. You might as well kill a third one and say he killed three people. I mean, instead of having a possible loose end. But anyway, it's a movie. Maybe they'll try to use her as a witness to back up the cops' claims. I mean, she didn't see anything, but whatever. I mean, Jelly's a small guy, but he's very, very fast. And yeah, you look at the old school equipment, the old school. I mean, this is how it was in 2001. Now it would seem antiquated, fairly antiquated, but that's how it was back then. But yeah, very nice production values. And like I said, when it goes, it just goes at a very fast pace. I think this is the bit here with the grenade, where they drop the grenade. You know, bad guy. When you just have bad guys saying "fuck it," he kills their henchmen just because they don't have time for that. So what the fuck you doing, bitches? Stop it! Stop doing that. Fuck you and your fire, dude. Ain't God? This ain't an oven. This ain't goddamn turkey dinner. I think he tits. Does he tit the thing? Yep. That was a cool. Tits the dust right into his fucking eye. Yep. Here's the grenade. Which is cool. I like that he grabs it, goes through, and drops it right back. Good shot right into the guy. Oh, this is a good nasty explosion too. And see, at least there's a mix of real fire. Like that's real fire. That's definitely there's some real explosion fire there. That's the thing. You have a little bit of CJ, but you have mostly practical fire. And look at that nice bloody. See, that bloody half of that body would just be CGI now. And then here we get some nice choreography by Corey Yoon using the environment. Again, like Jackie Chan is what you would see for more goofy stuff, and this one's like more of the I'm gonna fuck you up stuff. Nice. Fry your fucking face. Right there. Burn his fucking face off. With the irons. Nice wide shot to get the all three of these guys. Then slam the guy's head right through the glass. Hit this guy right here, so it's not confusing. It's not edited like that, where it's confusing. Sometimes you just want to see a guy be a badass and kick everyone's ass. And then good wide shots so you understand the environment and what's going on, so it's not confusing. Because sometimes it would get that way where, what the hell happened? And you gotta rewind like 3 or 4 times to understand what the fuck's going on, but not the case here. And then these two, like, big, cool looking Uzis, or whatever the hell you want to call them. Very unique looking. Obviously, they have longer ammo cases, probably to show how he could shoot so much. As much as you want. I mean, it's still a film, so there's going to be a bit of escapism. But he is reloading. But yeah, this is a cool. I love this bit. There's roasted cue ball and score. Fuck you. You know what? That's actually not bad CGI either. That is not bad CGI. That's actually pretty good And it's such a cool idea, a cool shot to kick like a soccer ball and kick it right into the guy's head and kill him that way. Such a cool kill. That's what I mean, man. I mean, there's a chunk of us fans who miss this kind of stuff. I think that's why that film, The Beekeeper, did decently well. Because The Beekeeper reminded people like me and others of films like this. Films like The Transporter 1 and 2 and films of that nature. You just go in and you want to have just a fun escapism time of action. You have a good slimy villain here, and you have well done action sequences. Goes at a good enough pace. It's not too slow or slog or boring. Some nice Paris locations. Like, that's a cool looking shot with the amusement park behind him, the Ferris wheel. Like, that's a cool look aesthetic. Again, they put some nice backdrops to shoot it at. Of course, to explain, the showcase a bit of the loss in translation. To really show this guy is a bit more of a fish out of water, that not so much, well, maybe a little bit more outside of his element. So, a little bit of that language barrier, another obstacle to overcome. But yeah, 2001 this film came out, and I'm curious, how did this do? It cost 25 million and it made 36 million in the US, 64 million worldwide. So on a $25 million budget, that's not too bad. It's not a blockbuster or anything. I know a lot of people like me consider it one of Jet Li. I think a lot of people consider it definitely one of the best film Jet Li has done that wasn't in Hong Kong. I say it's my personal favorite Jet Li film. Isn't there like a lot of guns and stuff in there? What a reveal. Again, the idea of the acupuncture is very unique. And what bad luck. Could have had all those fucking guns, but no, you had to be two cops right there. I honestly would have walked away and just went to the bathroom or something and see, if, I don't know. What bad luck, what bad timing. And this has a good soundtrack too. That's one thing. That has a very good soundtrack. Mystical Fever by Mystical Lap. That's, I think, the song when he fights the two twins. At least the beginning of it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Lap Dance by Nerd. That's when he fights the big guy. That's the song. I'm a dirty dog. I'm a dirty dog. The end credits. Adore You by Lisa Barbusha. I do like that song. I remember having the CD for this, the soundtrack. And those would be the three songs I would listen to was Lap Dance, Adore You, and Mystical Fever. I try to remember what this guy's name is. I know I've seen him in other stuff. I can't remember his damn name though. I can't remember. And of course, this is Chetty Terror being such a lying sack of shit. Now, I know the other guy, he's not in this scene, but the guy who plays, I don't even want to call it the handler, the guy who Jet Li ultimately goes to, I think his name is Uncle Ty. He is Bert Koak. And he was in the Van Damme film Wake of Death. He was, I think he was in some of the Pink Panther films. You get the idea this guy's not buying his story 100%, that there's a bit of bullshit involved here, which I like. I mean, you just tell by his face that he's not, 100% buying into this whole thing. You just tell. Which is nice. See, and then right here, he just called by Jet Li, and he's like, yeah, I know these guys are full of it. Let's help my guy out. You can tell Chetty Taro's not loving this situation. Well, sorry, Chetty Taro, you did suck some sweaty balls. Not the actor, I'm talking about the character he plays. Yeah, this guy in the back, the uncle, I think he was like bit parts in a lot of the James Bond films, and I think Kato with a C in a lot of the Pink Panther films. Which I never had this food. I never tasted this food, so whether how good or bad it is, I've never had it. I mean, be honest, I never really had a lot of Asian food. It's funny, I said that in like a stream. Some people were bewildered, like, really? I'm like, no, I was born in Iowa, in a small, like near a small town. Nothing about that streamed Asian delicacies nearby. Fast food would be like McDonald's, Hardee's, and other stuff. I guess this further explains why he didn't kill. I forgot about this bit. It's been a while since I forgot about this whole thing. So this better explains why he didn't kill Bridget Fonda's character. Like I said, I forgot about that. Whose daughter was kidnapped by Chetty Terrio to force her into prostitution. So, I forgot about that. I don't know how I forgot about that. It's been a long time since I've seen this film. I know. I should have remembered that. But yeah. But now it's coming back to me on that. I think because I was just more interested with the Jet Li stuff than the Bridget Fonda stuff. I mean, the Bridget Fonda stuff was fine. It was a means to an end. This little girl, innocent to protect. And then Chetty Terrio, just a slimy dirtbag of a villain. Forcing to put drugs into her, forcing her to be a hooker. All this stuff. So again, this whole thing is to explain why he didn't kill Bridget Fonda back in the room. So there you go. So forget what I said 20 minutes ago. He's really good at yelling and screaming and being intense, Chetty Terrio. He was also good in The Patriot with Mel Gibson. Because of the good guys, he was like the leader of the French. He was good in that one, The Patriot. I also liked him in The Core. He was Aaron Eckhart's buddy in The Core. I don't know if I'm brave enough to save millions. I just hope I'm brave enough to save 3. Or however many kids he had. But he was good in The Core. I like The Core. It's silly, it's goofy, but I liked that film. I do like the way the film is shot. Like the color, the shot on film. I miss that. There's a certain tangible quality to it that you just don't have with digital. Digital just looks, for lack of a better word, just looks more fake. So yeah, the reason they drug her up is to make her more accessible to go hooking. And there's a series of hookers to just put out there and make us money. And if you don't, we get your daughter or fuck her up. So. And ate all that damn food. I think actually Roger Ebert gave this 3 out of 4 stars. And he kind of put it best where just simple entertainment, well done, technically efficient action sequences, which it is. Nice headbutt there. The bitch deserved it. That's what you get. Don't mess. Hey, it's not her fault. It's the other bitch's fault. But you gotta have Jet Li get in on the action. Somehow, some way, some form. I know convenient that it happens to be the same person who was there that night. I mean, what if this happened 2 blocks away and then these two would never meet? I mean, that's just the thing with movies. Sometimes there's convenience. Call it luck. Call it karma. However you want to put it. So, either go with it or you don't. He's like, what? No hooking for you. I do wonder how Jet Li got this little dent in his nose. Like a little, looks like a little scar. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's just a scar. Oh, yeah. I remember when this guy comes back, he's like, "What happened?" And then he gets killed, gets shot up. Doesn't want to use the bathroom. Yeah, I remember she's going to piss. Fine, you want me to be like a dog? Fam, I'll piss right here. No, no, what are you doing? I do like there's a little bit of this innocent nature. I don't know if innocent's the right way, but this nature to him. It's just crazy. I look at Bridget Fonda here again. I know it's. I don't want to be mean. Did you just see how she is today? Very, very different looking lady. It's like the guy's trying to give him the money. I'd be like, okay, free shit. I'll take some free shit and not have to pay for it. I guess so. Yeah, doesn't she like pass out? Something like that. I was going to look up the films of 2001. Going to see, because this came out July of 2001. Actually, let me look at the box office. Let me look at the opening weekend. What else was there in opening weekend? Because it debuted in. This is July 6th. Okay, let's go to the 9th, which was the Monday. Scary Movie 2 was number 1. Cats and Dogs. The Fast and the Furious. AI. Kiss of the Dragon. So Kiss of the Dragon debuted pretty much at number 5, which isn't great. Dr. Dolittle 2, Lara Croft Tomb Raider, Shrek, yeah, Pearl Harbor, The Mummy Returns, Evolution. Evolution's a fun comedy that sadly bombed. Shrek is a good one. I like the first Tomb Raider. I don't mind the first Fast and Furious. Scary Movie 2 is my favorite of all of them. So. I thought, this stuff was kind of nice. Some of the stuff he said. I'm sorry for doing this. I'm sorry for, treating you that way. Just being nice to a lady. Man, even those cell phones, just look how different. Like, you look at that phone, cell phone or whatnot. You just look at that phone compared to how phones are nowadays. Just so different. This where Going to get to another action sequence. Because he don't meet up with his buddy, and he's going, he's not, yeah, he's going to get shot and killed. He's going to have to escape. I think there's like I remember there's a fight like either like on top of the boat, something like that. So I just put on the headphones just to make sure everything was working audio wise and stuff. But never been on one of these type of boats. But I mean, to be fair, I've never been to France. I've never been out of the country, to be honest. I mean, I would like to go to Japan. I like to go to Australia. I wouldn't mind visiting Paris one time. Just, never come up. It's never come up, but it is what it is. Yeah, I think this guy does get killed, and there's an action scene during this bit. But sadly, this is a time period where these type of action films were going by the wayside. I mean, again, this made 36 million in the U.S. But I mean, in America, people didn't think of Jet Li like, Arnold Schwarzenegger or hell, even Sylvester Stallone. His films weren't doing that great, to be honest. Daylight was in the U.S. a flop. You could say whatever overseas, but in the U.S. it was definitely a flop. Driven was around this time. That was a shitty movie that flopped. Arnold, I mean, The Sixth Day was what, 2000? It's an okay film. It didn't, but The Sixth Day didn't do a whole lot. So even, the mainstays, Van Damme was pretty much going direct to video after Universal Soldier The Return bombed in 1999. So this time Van Damme was doing films like White to Death with 2002. This is around the time you had The Order, Replicant. So Van Damme was direct to video. Seagal, after Exit Wounds, I think Half Past Dead, I don't know, I can't remember when that came out in theaters. Maybe a little bit after this? But that didn't do well. Then Seagal, I think The Patriot was 2000 or so. That was direct to video. But like, this stuff is cool. I mean, close quarter combat, but again, it's wide enough. It's like back far enough to understand the movements and how he takes someone down, and because you have people who know what they're doing, it's not cut this, cut this, cut this, cut that, so it becomes confusing. Like, that's cool. That and go from one to the other and just have the camera pan. Simple technique, but it works. Nice bit here where he flips all the way up. Yeah, and this is the bit here that he's on top of the boat. I like that they chose a glass boat. I think that brings a different dynamic to things. Especially when people, I believe they crash through. And also, I mean, come on, you got the Eiffel Tower in the background. How cool is that? Cool backdrop to have the Eiffel Tower in the back during this fight. There you go, crush it right through the glass. So again, nice choice to have this boat. And in this bit here, we're taking on multiple attackers. You have the shot last longer than 0.85 seconds. And I know that cat is so fucking annoying. It's one of those cats that I saved and it's been a pain in the ass. Sorry, it's just random. Again, fight scenes are technically efficient, and choreographed well enough because you have a guy that definitely knows what he's doing, both Corey Yune and Jet Li. And that's one of the things about that film War, is that the director said, I don't want to have martial arts stuff. I remember Jet Li and Jason Statham hearing that they were very, you know, their hands were tied on that. I thought that was a cool stunt of hitting that car. Even just crashing through the onto the street is a nice moment, nice shot. He's like, I don't give a fuck about hitting bystanders. It's like, they shouldn't have been in my fucking way. I like these tunnels, like cool looking tunnels. I mean, I don't know what area. I mean, I guess I'm assuming, do they have tunnels like this in France? But I do like the look of it. And I think the film does have a good job dealing with locations, utilizing Paris as a character unto itself. Because Jet Li, of course, hiding the bloody arm so he doesn't look too conspicuous. Just if you just show the bloody arm, people are like, what the fuck, and cause a bit of a ruckus. But I was saying, like, films, I mean, again, Jet Li wasn't really known as a big American box office star. I mean, at this point, either Lethal Weapon 4, like Romeo Must Die, I know that got some attention because of Aaliyah was in it. The One, I don't think did blockbuster numbers or anything. But yeah, action films of this type were kind of being looked at as passe, sadly. Because yeah, look at the what kind of films were being done at that time. It was starting in the '90s, where you had the yesteryear of the action guy going around kicking ass, taking names. You know, the Rambo, Commando, even to an extent Die Hard, you know, different extent. When he got into the '90s, that was looked at as a little bit more passe. So unless you really make it into more of a spectacle, that's kind of what people were now looking more towards, was the spectacle nature of it all. So then you had Twister, you had Independence Day, you had The Matrix. Despite what people think of the films, the Star Wars prequels did very well, and they were coming around. They were coming around this time. The Star Wars prequels. I'll be right back. Sorry about that. I had to go pretty much yell at the cat to shut up. The one cat. It's a cat you guys haven't seen. It's a cat with no tail that was rescued, and I wasn't supposed to keep it, but now I guess I am keeping it, and it's like the only cat I don't like, and it's a pain in the ass, and it's the only one that does the meow meow meow. Just how, sometimes it's just how it goes, man. But anyway, I'm paused at about 52 minutes and 12 seconds about. Unpause now. Pretty much the uncle is talking with Jet Li. And so I was wrong. See, this shows how long I've seen this film. So this isn't when he gets killed. I said, I know at one point he leaves and he comes back, gets killed, so it wasn't there before. So again, shows how long I've seen this fucking film. I think it's this time when it happens. So I got confused. So I think it might be this time where when he comes back. Now he was still getting a grasp of English during this time period. Because it was just Lethal Weapon 4, which he didn't have a whole lot of dialogue in that. That was 1998. And then Romeo Must Die was two. Was that like 2000? So. Yeah, the one was 2001. I'm not gay. But yeah, I think for a guy that, English is not his first language, I think he does, Jelly does fine. And I don't know how to put it. There's a little bit of like an innocent quality to him. Maybe just his looks, maybe just his kind of subtle nature to him, quiet nature. No, I have no interest in it. Fuck off. No, you seem very desperate. And these scenes, Bridget Fonda does well, though. And she does a decent job because she gotta play like she's, how do I put it? She's being nonchalant about it, but at the same time, you tell it deeply affects her emotionally when she was tricked and manipulated and forced into this occupation. What a scumbag. I'd really appreciate it if you don't do that again. Don't do that again. Again, he may not seem like much, but he has that certain look, that certain fire in his eyes that you just... I do like this at first, where he's like, okay, I got the money. I'll see how this goes. And he's all calm because it's like, hey, I could fuck this guy up like nothing. We'll see how this works. Maybe he's also thinking that if I play it this way and this route, she won't get hurt, beaten up more, so it won't cause her more trouble. Hey, he warned you, don't do that again. There you go. And here's that music. Lap dance by a nerd. And here comes the big guy, yep. Dirty dog. I'm a dirty dog. I'm a dirty dog. I think this is a really good song, very catchy song. And that's the thing, like, more and more in this time period, you saw a lot more of these martial arts films try to appeal to, I just like the hood crowd. So you see a lot more, like, hip-hop soundtracks. Even, like, Jackie Chan films like Super Cop, that when Dimension Films got it, they tried to do a bit more hip-hop. Romeo Must Die with Ali and DMX in it. In this film, stuff like this song being implemented into it. And then, of course, Cradle to the Grave co-starring with DMX. I guess, they figure a lot of the urban crowd. Like, speaking of martial arts, there's a story I remember hearing about... Oh, what was his name? Dwight Little. Dwight Little is the director who did Murder at 1600. And I don't know if this is true, but I remember hearing the story that the reason he got Murder at 1600 was because Wesley Snipes, he had a little bit of power at that time to pick. And he's like, Dwight Little, did you do that Steven Seagal film, Marked for Death? And Dwight Little's like, yeah. Go right. I want you to direct my movie. The brothers love Seagal. I mean, that's what Dwight Little, I swear that's what he said. I can't find the interview now, but I swear at one point he said, well, yeah, Wesley Snipes picked me because he's like, the brothers love Seagal. And at that time, I'm sure, because at that time, the film came out in 97, so they either started shooting in 97 or 96. It was, Above the Law, Marked for Death, Under Siege, Out for Justice, cool, fun, action movies. I thought this was cool because it always made it seem like he had Wolverine claws and right in the neck. I thought that was brutal and badass. And yeah, I like that it looks like Wolverine claws and right in the neck. Inventive kill, different type of kill. I do like that. And of course, yeah, this is where the uncle died. Doing all that firefighting, explosion and stuff. And again, it goes at a fast pace. I gotta say, got like 30 some minutes left of the film, so it does go at a good pace. But I think I was explained before that at this time period, action films like this were becoming more passe. Because I was saying before how, the 80s and early 90s, it was the heyday of these action films where it was Stallone, Schwarzenegger, then it was Steven Seagal, Van Damme. And then we got to like the mid 90s, things started to die down. You know, Stallone, Judge Dredd did not do well. Daylight bombed in the U.S. at least. Arnold, after True Lies, The Sixth Day didn't do that well. I Love End of Days, that didn't do well. Terminator 3, I'm sure made some money, but it wasn't looked at like T2. But not many films are. And then he went into politics. Stallone, his films, Driven was a bomb, which was a shitty movie. And then his films going direct to video like Avenging Angelo and I See You, which I think is an underrated movie. But that was dumped straight to video. Van Damme, after Universal Soldier Return, like I said, in 1999, which I liked that film. That film bombed. And then his films, Wake of Death, Replicant, The Order, they were going direct to video. Seagal, he had Exit Wounds, that was what, 2000 or so. Once again, hip hop soundtrack, DMX being in the film. They tried to do it with Half Past Dead, it didn't quite work out. Half Past Dead's not that good of a movie. It's kind of a weird movie when you watch. Like, if you watch Half Past Dead, it's a weird fucking film. Why? I don't know. Just something about it just was always weird to me. I don't know how else to put it. I don't know. Maybe one day do a commentary on that. I'll explain more. But and I'm trying to think. God, I can't remember. When happened? Yeah. Well, I already talked about that before. But yeah, the films, these type of films were not really doing it for the audience. I mentioned before, 1996, Independence Day, Twister. You had films like, I mentioned The Matrix, the Star Wars prequels. Now you get into the early 2000s, you have the Lord of the Rings films going to be a thing, a huge thing. Spider-Man. X-Men was 2000. Spider-Man 2002. Then you have Harry Potter is soon going to be into the mainstream, into the pop culture. The Mummy Returns in 2001 and The Mummy in 1999. Like, these were now the type of action films people were gravitating towards. Younger kids were more into those type of films. When I was a kid, the films I was into, it films like this. Films like the Rambo trilogy. Although I love Rambo 4. Films like Commando. Those are the films I gravitated towards as a kid. Kids in this time period, for the most part, was more towards, again, Spider-Man, Mummy Returns, Harry Potter, Lord of the Rings, that realm. And those are the ones making much more bank, which is the bit special effects, the bit spectacles, the 2012, The Day After Tomorrow, and all these big box office films. Fantastic Four was 2005. More superhero films. Batman Begins, The Dark Knight. Superhero films are coming more into fruition. Big, bombastic, Armageddon type of blockbusters more to fruition. Now these are the action films that have replaced these type of films. So when you explode the world, or you blow up a city, or you have giant twisters or dinosaurs, so like Jurassic Park, could you just say help kickstart that in '93? They go, wow, we could do this. What more can be done? when you see, the White House explode on Independence Day, this stuff will seem not as huge. I don't know why I like the idea he puts the fucking turtle in the desk. Poor turtle. I mean, I don't know. Maybe the turtle likes it in there. Who knows? Maybe the turtle's like, if I'm in here, at least I'm safe. Hopefully he can breathe in there. I don't know. But again, this is one of those little weird things that, doesn't service the plot or anything, but just another interesting thing for the villain to have a little quirk. Yeah, just had a turtle and just put it in the fucking desk. Because why not? Why not? Just because. But yeah, I thought that's interesting. I just realized, watch this again. We have not seen the daughter yet. We've seen, like, we've heard of the daughter. We've heard of her. We've seen the little picture on the lot yet, but we haven't seen the actual daughter. I think that's interesting that we've been at this for an hour and 9 minutes. Almost an hour and 10 minutes. Almost an hour and 10 minutes in, and we still haven't seen the daughter yet. Like, actually see her. So, considering she's a pretty important character, I mean, I guess you just say that because she's mentioned and stuff, like, we still get a semblance of her. I think when I first saw this, like, watch it again. Bridget Fonda's not bad. I don't think she's bad in the role. I think what it is that when she popped on screen, I was just much more interested in gently fucking people up, gently kicking ass, taking names. So I just, in my younger years, felt that, oh man, Bridget Fonda, these scenes just slowed the film down. And okay, would I say they're my favorite scenes in the movie? No. But they do service the plot, they service the story, and so it doesn't bother me. Watch it again. I still prefer the Jet Li stuff, don't get me wrong, but, you know, Chetty Terrio does a good job. Bridget Fonda is that bad. It gives a bit of importance to, what's going on. In this case, will eventually lead to Jet Li helping Bridget Fonda and saving this little girl. But yeah, it's one of those things where you do get action films of this type once in a while. I think that's one of the reasons why the John Wick films became such big hits. Is there were people that missed that type of stuff, if done very well. And then you have like Nobody, which was a fun film. Bullet Train was fun. The Beekeeper, that was a fun one. But even John Wick, like John Wick, they had to go a bit bigger, a bit more intricate. And you see, even in John Wick 2 and John Wick 3, the action scenes got bigger and, I don't want to say bolder, but they got a bit more intricate. So it became bigger set pieces, which helped spread the word of mouth and make them like big events. Okay, I gotta go see this in the theater. Because nowadays, if you do like this type of film, let's say you make this exact same film today, there'd be a number of people that go, I'll just wait for streaming. I won't see this in the theater. Oh, this seems like a film I'll just watch on streaming. I mean, less and less people are going to see a film like this and go, I don't want to see it in theaters. I'm not going to say it's non-existent, because again, The Beekeeper did well enough. But again, they're not, don't expect a whole lot of big blockbuster numbers for these type of films. And even then, like when you do a film like this today, they're still like shooting on digital, which to me just doesn't look nearly as good as shooting on film. So shooting on digital, which just looks a bit more fake, a bit more, I don't know how else to put it. And then you have the more additions of CGI. Like you watch this film, there's very, very, very little usage of CG. Very little usage of it. There's a little bit with the fire, when that whole laundromat grenade thing. But there's also some actual fire stuff in there mixed in. There's a bit with the cue ball, which I think looked pretty good. But other than that, it's all done practically for real in camera. But nowadays, like when people get shot, here it's squibs. Nowadays it'd be CGI squibs, which that's one of the things I don't like about. I love the John Wick trilogy, and to me there's only 3 films. But one of my issues is the CGI squibs. I'm tired of seeing CGI squibs. I'm fucking sick and tired of it. If they could do it for this fucking film and so many other films and the decade before this film, why can't they fucking do it now? It's laziness. It's fucking laziness. Well, safety reason. Then you have to be. Then make it safe. Hire people who know what the fuck they are doing and make them safe then. Hire competent people to do actual squibs. No, the reason they don't want to do it is laziness, because you gotta do the squibs, you gotta test them out. You gotta test them out to see if they work correctly. You gotta make sure the test goes right. Then you gotta work it on the actor. You gotta explain the safety measures of it. You gotta make sure it hits the right way. Because if it hits the wrong way, you gotta clean up the clothes. You gotta set it up all over again. You gotta clean up if the fake blood hit the wall or hit the bed or whatever it hit. You gotta clean that up too. Redress it. It takes time. But if you do like this, oh, okay, you did this. Oh, okay, done. Move on. Time is money. Being on set equals money. A ton of people on set. the less time on set, the less money you spend. You have all this group of people to spend money, or just one guy on a computer. So nice, we got a little bit of action bit there. A little bit of Jet Li doing his thing. That was nice to see. Can't complain about that. Nice bit of stunt there. Now I don't know how she got shot, but Jet Li didn't. But I mean, hey, it's Jet Li. Have you seen the one? He did dodge bullets. I mean, we got to get Bridget Fonda out of the picture, which I'm fine with because the typical thing would have been she's kidnapped, she's with her daughter, and he's got to go rescue her and her daughter. So I kind of like this idea of she's going to be in the hospital resting, and then he's going to make the choice. He's by himself, and he's like, you know what? I'm going to do this selfless act, go in and kick everybody's ass to get this girl's daughter back. It makes you easy to root for this hero. I know it's going to sound stupid, but this definitely has a French look to it, which I do like, with just the color aesthetics. I don't know how else to put it. If you see some films that were done in France, even like the Crimson Rivers or other stuff, they would have this kind of type of lighting and film stock. That actually works. And like I said, the film goes at a good pace. So I mean, we're already got 17 minutes of the film, and that includes the end credits. And it's pretty much going to be after this bit him just going and kicking everybody's ass, which I love. So it's not wall to wall action. It's not like action every 5 minutes, but what's there is well done. It's good choreography, some cool moments. The cue ball kicking into the guy's face, grabbing the grenade, throwing it back, and just in the guy's shirt, the guy blows up, half his body's left. The straws, whatever, into the guy's throat like his Wolverine. And then memorable little moments scattered throughout the film that makes it a good action piece. And then you save the best good stuff for last, where of course every police station needs their dojo. That's the thing, is that I've never been to France. Does every French like police headquarters have their own dojo where people train to fight in martial arts? Like, is that a thing in France? I don't know. I mean, I love it in the movie because you give that classic, like, what was it, Bruce Lee, the Chinese connection. You have to kick everybody ass scene. But it's like, then does every French police station have this? So I'm just listening to the dialogue here with Jet Li. I'm prepared to kick some ass. Gets a hole right through the fucking booth. How badass is that? That's what I love about this ending. Just he goes and just kiss everybody's fucking ass. He kissed the phone booth. He takes the flag. Kiss all their asses. Now, of course, at the end there has to be a fucking dojo here. I remember. I could guarantee this got like a "oh shit" kind of laugh. Like, I think that's how I felt when I watched this on DVD. I went, "oh shit." Now, in the movie today, there'd probably be some ironic thing where you think you don't get what you want, and then some joke would happen, or the fucking seal would collapse, and well, I guess we're not finding the day, or something else would happen. No, it's like sometimes you give the audience what they want, and this is the case. And this is one of my favorite Jet Li action sequences. I love the way he uses these sticks, like that bat there, like one at a time, just taking them apart piece by piece. I also remember playing the Jet Li game Rise to Honor, and there's a point where you get stitched like this, and you do this move where you're just like. Remember being a fun move in the Jet Li game, right? That's a fun game, Rise to Honor. That's a very fun game. And then that's a bit of an underrated PlayStation 2 game. Yeah, Jet Li's Rise to Honor is a fun one. That's a game I need to play for the channel, like all the way through. Because I do remember quite enjoying that game quite a bit. A lot of fun bits in there. Here we get the, I think it's mystical. Uh oh. Uh oh. Uh oh. And again, one of my favorite bits in the movie, him find the twins. 2-on-1 fight. You think it's going to be a fair 1-on-1, but he's going to get cheap shotted right about. Not yet. And the twins have their own fighting styles. One uses his legs a bit more, the other does not. Again, really good choreography. Nice wide shots here to show their back and forth and the speed. I think the trivia said he had to be. Both of you guys had to be told to slow down, otherwise the camera could not catch their actual movements. I think that was another thing leaked up before. Is like you have to slow it down because the camera's not literally not catching your speed. What could be said? Like just great choreography. Like just back and forth, like a spam button in a fucking video game. But now he's using his wits, using his smarts. No, you come over here, dickhead. No, you come over here. You like to tit? You're not gonna have a lot of room to tit. You're not gonna have a lot of room to tit over here. Nice. Nice. Talk about the real fist of fury. Sight you again. Go sight you one more time. Bam. And I was like, no, you come over here. It's such a great fight. I love the environment too. Just this tight office space. And you got all this glass to break to really sell the destruction. Nope, not this time. Fuck you, buddy. I like that too. As soon as his net's broken, the music just stops. As in, shit's really got real. This way you gotta be careful using your legs. He's big, he's gigantic, but I do like that bit there with the broken glass. That's what you did, not being careful with your legs. I do like the bit with the hands cut. Ooh. I always thought that was a badass. Just this big hit to break the guy's fucking neck. And he sells that intensity, that I'm gonna fuck you up intensity. He really sells it. I got you too. And he can't move. Again, you set up that acupuncture stuff and you pay it off at the end here. I thought they cast the little girl well. I thought it was cute the way she said goodbye, mister. They casted the right. I mean, she's not in the film a whole lot, but he has that right sense of innocence. The kiss of the dragon. The kiss of the dragon. Kiss my ass. I don't know why that always makes me laugh. I know my friend Avery feels the same way. The blood goes up to your head, never comes down, but soon will come out of your nose, your ears, and your eyes. That's such a cool, brutal way to kill a guy. Whether there's any truth to it, it's a cool idea though. There may not be any truth to it, but it's a cool idea. My name is not Johnny. I mean, you just shoot the guy, but you really make the guy suffer. How you make the villain, a slime bag like this, suffer, and do a death scene that's a bit different. This is a way to do it. It just does sell the brutality. All the blood coming out. Good acting too, really selling just the convulsions. Really good job acting, selling all that. That was a painful death. Again, it's, how many times we've seen someone get shot, or neck snapped, or blown up, but a very unique way of killing your main villain. So again, I'm guessing Jet Li came up with the acupuncture stuff, and again, it sets itself apart from other movies. These little details, so it makes it memorable. There's only so many times you can make an action film. It's all these little details that sell into it. And you have enough of those details scattered throughout the film, and to make it like this. And again, Bridget Fonda, I was giving her a little bit of shit earlier, but she does a good job selling this emotional state. I like this piece of music as well. Thought this is a good music. Nice touching scene. Song Adore You. Sorry, I just listened to the music. I adore you. Yeah, Rick Young got fourth billed when he got killed very early on in the movie. Man, that went by so quick, man. I mean, it's only, if you take out the end credits, like an hour and 33 minutes. That still went by really quick. That's still a damn good movie. I still really enjoy it. I would say Bridget Fonda I've warmed up to with her acting. Yeah, I think back then it was just, oh man, I want to get back to Jet Li kicked ass because that's my favorite part. But Bridget Fonda does a fine enough job. The little girl they cast was cute. Not in the film too much. Chetty Cario, good slime ball villain. When the action scenes are there, they're well choreographed. There are a lot of memorable moments. I mentioned before, but to mention again, I love the bit with the cue ball, kicking it, hitting the guy on the forehead. The different venues. There's the kind of laundromat section. There's on top of the boat. The whole thing with the police station, kicking the phone booth, the toll booth, how you want to put it, the booth that the cops in and fucking them up. Beating the cops up with the flag and the flagpole. All those people in the dojo with the sticks. Fighting the two twins in that tight office space. Even fighting the big guy in the shop to the song Dirty Dog, Fun, well choreographed fight sequences. Good soundtrack. I like some of those songs I mentioned before, including the song Adore You. Jet Li, I thought, did fine. He had the right look, intensity, and quiet demeanor that works well for this type of character he's playing. I mentioned Chetty Cario. They really did not have a whole lot of digital special effects, which I appreciate. They were limited on that. Corey Yun, very nice job from him. Chetty Cario, great death for his character. I mentioned before, the whole stuff with the acupuncture is a very interesting idea. Different type of idea. So I do appreciate that. Doing something a little bit outside the box. And overall, still my favorite American Jet Li film. Scratch that. My favorite Jet Li film altogether. Not just American. It is my favorite Jet Li film. Because I think, the story, as simple as it is, I get into, helping a lady and saving a little girl. I could be down with that plot, with that idea. And I think, I like the France location. I like him being kind of an outsider, fish out of water, so he's alone. There's nobody else that can help him, so it makes it more for the hero to have to deal with and have to overcome. Another obstacle he has to overcome during this whole thing. Yeah, overall, the fight scenes, the lack of wire fu, the lack of CGI, down and dirty, again, like Fist of Legend. People appreciate that. People enjoy that. People like that. People miss that. And if they don't say it now, then it's because they don't know what they got till it's gone, as the song would say. But overall, enjoyable film. Still love it. Holds up to me. And we will see you guys later. Thanks once again, Yule. Hope you enjoyed. Talk to you guys later. Bye-bye for now.